What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? This is another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday evening. It's 5:16 p.m., so we'll go evening with a question mark, even though it's very bright outside. Anyway, I'm
This
your
part
host.
of the day really confuses you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because it's like afternoon, but it's like, well, we're well past afternoon, so it'll be evening in like in a couple hours. But either
Say
way.
if you're off work, it's evening.
Yeah, it just doesn't look evening outside. It's very bright in here, so it feels funny to say evening when it's very bright in both of our rooms that we're doing this from. Anyway, I'm your host, Grandpa, on this screen. That's Bradley Brown on the other. Say what's up, Bradley, even though you kind of already did.
How's it going?
It's going all right. Yeah, we've got a few things to talk about, I think, anyway. A few things are going on in the sports world. Before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers five different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all five of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Speaking of running, having to clear my throat out. Allergies are dominating me right now. Um, Monday, yesterday was the, I don't know what it is at this point, annual. We'll just say the annual Boston Marathon. The Holy Grail of marathon running happened yesterday, and pretty cool event. It was, as always, um, all but 1 year. I'll put it that way. We won't go into that, but a I don't remember the guy that won it, but he was the brother of a guy that won it roughly like in 2013 or something like that. I meant to look it up before the show, but I obviously didn't do that. But a set of brothers have won the Boston Marathon, which is pretty neat.
What's also pretty neat is American had or well, one American had the second fastest time for an American at the Boston Marathon, right? Ran it in 2 hours and 6 minutes, 2 hours and 7 minutes.
An American did that.
Yep, American did that.
So that's usually a winning time for Boston because that's a very tough course. It's usually like Berlin and I'm drawing a blank. Berlin for sure is one of the majors that the winning time is usually around like just over 2 hours, like 2:01 or something, 2:02. Boston, it's usually 2:06 or seven. It's never before that. It's a tough course to run, and yeah, but it's the course. It's the holy grail of marathon racing. I would like to run it one day. I don't know how it would ever happen. I would have to have some kind of connections develop or go through in order for me to make that happen. Because I'm not qualifying. The only way I'd qualify is if I stay my current speed at like 70 years old or 80 years old. That's the only way.
Life goals, man. Life goals.
Yeah, I can probably run a sub 4 hour marathon. I've not done it, but I probably could. I'm going to go for it in December at a race in Little Rock. That'll be my next attempt at a sub four. I tried this past December to run a sub four. I probably would have done it, but my stomach had other ideas. And this was the end of the Grand Prix race series I was in and currently am in now again. But it was like it had kind of already been decided where I was going to end up points wise, and I didn't have to beat anybody that was in it. And my stomach started gurgling at mile 12, and I was like, I'm not running 14 more miles like this. So I just stopped at a bathroom, hung out in there for a good 15, 20 minutes. And then, of course, at that point, I'm not breaking 4 hours. So I was like, well, I'll just go coast the rest of the way. And I was like, well, I can still come in under 4:30. And I did. It was like 4:22 and change. But I'm going to give it another go in December. And I'm in better shape now than I was then, but I just got to stay healthy. Got to keep my foot healthy, and just won't have, um, I guess, Italian food at least to that extent the night before again. So that probably wasn't the best idea. Uh,
Did the oil hit you like it did Shaq?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. And he's of course talking about Shaq last night on Inside the NBA, which I did actually watch. I did see it live. I had a test I had to
I'm
take
jealous that you
yesterday.
got to see it high or live.
Well, my life's crazy right now. I'm one of the coaches in our running club's run walk clinic that we do Monday and Thursday, and it's an 8 week thing. And we're on week 4 now, and we obviously we had it yesterday. I had to come back and take a test, an anatomy and physiology test, my last lecture exam. I spent all day Saturday studying for that. I came home, showered, and took the test. And by the time I sat down, and everything, I was able to catch the end of the Nuggets Clippers game, which Kawhi went off, by the way. Jokic had a great stat line, but 7 turnovers and one that killed him down the stretch. But I, of course, was winding down. I was kind of in celebratory mode too because I did well on the test. And so I was like, I'm going to watch Chuck and Shaq and them for a little bit, and Kenny and EJ. And um, yeah, and Chuck was talking, Charles Barkley making a point, and then you just see Shaq just get up and just kind of do this awkward waddle away. Uh, he said he wasn't gone long. He was kind of in and out, and just said he had to go number one. I was like, I don't know about that. You have
Yeah.
to go that bad. It looked like a number two scare to me. It was that kind of waddle.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's taking a double shot of olive oil every day. He's just drinking a double shot of olive oil every day. It's supposed to clean out your gut, something like that. And I'm guessing, so that's what I thought it was doing last night. Was cleaning out his gut at a inopportune time.
Yeah.
What it looked like to me. But
Made for great
going,
TV.
it did. I feel a sneeze coming on, so stop and sneeze. It'll be because of that. Yeah, these allergies are dominating me right now, but getting through it. Um, Going back to Boston, I know at least I think I know 6 people that ran Boston yesterday. Fastest guy was in my run club, ran it in 2:55 and change. Of course,
Dang.
he can, yeah, but he ran, I think it was a 6:33 pace, but he's an absolute animal, uh, beast of a runner. This is the guy that when I did the Hogeye 10K last year, he won that, and it's an out and back, and on the way back, so you pass the leaders, you pass people just on the way back, or just they're going this way, you're going that way, kind of thing. And for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube. And he was with the first 3 leaders, and he obviously separated himself down the stretch, but he was running. It looked like a full sprint stride with them. And as he's passing me, he looks at me and goes, "Good job, Graham." Like normal voice, like normal voice, normal tone, and just without it, hardly winded. And me, I'm like, hey, like I'm trying to get out of things, can't. I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying because I'm just giving everything I have. But he did it like it was nothing, and he ran a lot faster than me. So there are people that are just absolute animals that can do this. The other and like everybody I knew that ran it, I mean, just killed it. Uh, there's a mom of 13 kids in my run club, mom of 13, who's an absolute beast. By the way, she ran it in 4 hours 6 minutes, I believe it was. I mean, just crushed it. The other two guys I know that ran it in the 3 hour and 30 minute range. I think one was 3:25, the other was 3:35. So faster than I could do it. Like I said, I think I could sub 4 if everything goes right. We're going to find out in December, but it won't be at Boston. I would just have to make some connections in order to somehow get an entry to that because I'm not raising $20,000 for charity for it, and I'm not qualifying. So it's a big deal to run Boston. And a lot of people, if you're not connected to running, think that you can just sign up and go. That's not how it works. Not for Boston. Maybe your local marathon for sure. Not at Boston. That's one they only allow so many people in. Even if you qualify, even if you have a time qualifier, you might not get in. They say really the only way you can guarantee your spot in is to come in 10 minutes ahead of your qualifying time, like 10 plus minutes ahead. So my time to qualify is around, I don't know, 3 hours, 5 minutes. I would need to come in around 2:54 to give myself a not even a guaranteed spot, but to get put myself at kind of the top of the line as far as who they'll let in.
Sounds like
Because
you need to get some flubber on them shoes, man.
yeah, well, my run club president BQ'd and didn't get in. Just didn't make it. I know another girl that qualified didn't get in just because it was they couldn't open the window. They couldn't create a big enough window in order to get themselves at the front of that group of people that they let in because they only let in 30,000 something runners. It sounds like a lot, but it's not compared to everybody that does this. But so Boston's a big deal. Also, it was Des Linden's final professional race. Des Linden, she was the first American woman to win the Boston Marathon in like 40 years. She did it in 2018. She's run it every year since, I believe. And I mean, she had run it many times before that. Came in second, lost by like 2 seconds. Um, and then came back and won it in really kind of dominant fashion in crappy conditions in 2018. Lots of rain. It was cold because you never really know what you're going to get at Boston, especially this time of year. It looked like they had some pretty great weather this year. Um, but yeah, Des Linden's last professional race was yesterday at Boston. And as she said, perfect place to end it would be at Boston. And she did it. So yeah, a lot of Boston Marathon talk on to start the show. But we do. I am wearing my Grizzlies hat, and Brad made mention of it. And I guess I did a little bit earlier. We have playoff basketball. Playoff basketball is officially underway. Your pick last week and of the Thunder being the favorite was looking pretty good right now
Yeah.
because they
50 something point beat down of the Grizzlies for game one.
this team I'm wearing on my head right now. Yeah,
Dude, I did not expect that. Like, well, I guess nobody did. Nobody, I mean, you don't expect a 50-point whooping in the playoffs.
I expected them to win, but yeah, not by 50. I mean, they came to play and they look like clearly the best team in the league right now. I I haven't watched enough to know whether or not Boston can challenge them
Same.
um, or Cleveland. I know Cleveland's had a great year,
Yeah.
but it looks like on paper Oklahoma City's the team to beat this year. It's really hard to repeat in the NBA. History just says that. This last Nuggets team that won it all, I thought that team would be. I thought this would be their league for the next 2 or 3 years, and they lose some pieces. Lose Kentavious Caldwell Pope, pick up Russell Westbrook, fire their head coach. I mean, a lot has happened since they won that NBA championship. Uh, lost to lost to the Clippers last night. Kawhi Leonard looked like Kawhi Leonard last night. That's the first playoff action I've seen, and I was like, this looks like, or that looked like 2019 Kawhi Leonard, um, the guy on the Raptors that beat the Warriors in the NBA Finals, and it just looked dominant out there. Great shot selection. He's an all-time great when he's out there. The problem is he just can't stay out there. He missed the first
Yeah.
35 games of the year, and but looked really good last night. You just hope he can keep that up, stay healthy long enough to get through the playoffs. But either way, I mean, if he can, the Clippers can make some noise. But yeah, I like Oklahoma City's chances from what I've seen. Who plays
Yeah, they
tonight?
look. Let's see. The Thunder and Grizzlies play tonight. See at 6:30, and Lakers and Timberwolves, I guess, play after at 9 o'clock. And apparently, the Bucks and Pacers play today.
Oh, of course, the T Wolves put the or beat the Lakers in Game One. I did see that. Um, Ant got fined for cursing and making some sort of offensive gestures to fans. Very Anthony Richardson type fashion, based on what we've seen from him. Terrific player, but a little on the immature side. Um, who are you pulling for in that one? T Wolves or Lakers?
Man, I really don't care either way. I don't know. I guess Luca and LeBron, just because it's Luca and LeBron.
I'm a little torn by it. I'm not going to lose any sleep no matter what happens. Uh, Part of me wants to see the upset, see the T Wolves pull it off, but part of me says, the playoffs are more interesting with Luca and LeBron Laker team in it. So I'd kind of like to see them continue to stay in it. At the end of the day, I don't really care, but there's a good story either way. At this point, when it's not Arkansas and I don't have a dog in the fight, I'm usually rooting for the better story. Which is the better story? I guess that's the old reporter in me coming out. I don't know, but just the more story or the bigger story or better story is what interests me at this point. But there's a good story either way.
Yeah, well, for about half my life, LeBron's been in the playoffs, so just gonna go ahead and want to see him in there one or two more times before he's done. So
Yeah, because he doesn't have much longer, so I, you wouldn't know that based on the way he's looked this season. I mean, he still looks to be at the top of his game for the most part, anyway. Um, but yeah, NBA playoff action. I might watch some of it tonight, or I plan to. I've told myself I've got to get to bed early tonight. I'm absolutely gassed from just the weekend of studying, and I tried to get some sleep, and I just couldn't. I slept all right, but I don't know. I just couldn't stay in bed. I ended up waking up and doing things. Didn't get the relaxation I thought I would. So I'm telling myself I'm going to bed early tonight and watching the latest episode of The Righteous Gemstones just so I can catch up. I got to get my baby Billy Freeman mix or fix. I meant to say fix um, tonight. So I need some more quotes to dish out at work. Some baby Billy quotes. You don't watch that show, do you?
no, but I just got access to Max, so I'm gonna start watching it. I've seen the first episode. I thought it was pretty funny. I just didn't have access to it, so
Makes sense. I chose Max over Netflix. My budget allowed for one of those, and I said I'm going to go with Max just because.
Netflix is like $20 now, dude. Like
Well,
it's stupid.
another reason I went with Max. I definitely don't pay that a month, and
No.
if I have YouTube TV, I don't see a need to get Netflix, especially if it's that. I'm not paying $20 a month for a streaming service when there's so many other options out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I think my dog just hurled, so that's why I did that head turn. It's all right, buddy. Let it out. It's fine. Uh, Other news: there is playoff hockey going on. Actually, did catch a little bit of that on Easter Sunday when I was hanging out with the fam. By the way, happy Easter, everyone. Hope everybody had a happy late Easter, but hope everyone had a great Easter Sunday. But yeah, NHL playoffs are taking place. Currently, the New Jersey Devils are taking on the Carolina Hurricane right now, and the little bit I saw, the New Jersey the Devils goalie had maybe the coolest goalie mask I'd ever seen. It was like had like a devil painted on it, and it was just really, really
I don't
bad.
know, man. There's a lot of goalies, man. They have a lot of pretty cool paint jobs on their masks, man, on their helmets.
That's true. This was very cool. Do catchers still do that? Do they still rock the hockey mask? Catchers in baseball?
Yeah, I think
I guess
so.
they should. It's a better mask.
Yeah.
It's a much better mask. That was a great idea when that became a thing. Like let's switch. Whoever decided first, I'm going to wear a hockey mask instead of this old catcher's mask. Brilliant move. Um, much better mask. The hockey mask.
I'm thinking some local sporting goods store was just out of stock on the catcher's mask. They're like, hey, you know what? I bet this will work.
I wondered how that happened. Like who thought for the first like it had to be by accident. It had to be something like that, or nobody. Something happened to the other catcher's mask. The thing broke or something. Kid also plays hockey. Is like, well, let me just wear this. It's like, man, this is better. Actually, it had to be something accidental like that. There's no way it was a. You know what? I think this would work better. Had to be a complete accident type of thing. Nobody's got that kind of foresight.
Now,
Maybe they do, but I don't know. My dog is really hurling in there, so I hope he's all right. Um, Probably is. It usually sounds worse than it really is, but that's one more thing I get to go do when I get out of here is go clean up puke in the hallway. It's all right, buddy. Still love you. Um, Other news, as I'm looking at the ESPN app, I actually saw this before we got on. Boogie Fland entering the transfer portal,
I was going
Arkansas.
to ask you about it. Like, I thought he was going to the draft,
He apparently
and
is.
now
He's
he's entering the portal.
he's still got his name in the draft. I don't know how high he'll get drafted if he does. We didn't see a lot of him. He looked really good at the beginning of the year, and then he goes out and Arkansas got better. The Arkansas became a better team.
I'm glad
And
he came back for the tournament, though.
no, yeah, he did and did well in his role in the tournament. Like it's not a knock on him, but that's true. Like Arkansas got better when he was no longer in the lineup. And I've talked about this on the show. That forced other guys to step up. That forced Nelly Davis to step up and pick his game up and take on a bigger role. And he excelled in it. And because he was really just out there for the first portion of the season, could not fit into that team. But yeah, Boogie came back and looked good during his time in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, he's
I,
apparently not going to be a Razorback next season, no matter what. And a lot of it has to do with DJ Wagner moving to the point, and he's coming back to Arkansas. So DJ Wagner will be in that starting role. And they
guess who
and the
else is
Hawks will
coming back
sign
to Arkansas?
who?
Brazil. He's still eligible to come back.
Oh, a lot of guys are, but I mean that's not going to take Boogie Fland's spot. My point is they signed Darius Acuff, who's I think a top 10 recruit coming out of high school. So a top 10 freshman coming in, yeah, it's a very crowded backcourt all of a sudden. Good problem to have, but not enough room for Boogie Fland. So another reason for him to transfer. I get it. Makes sense, I suppose. I mean, you still would love to see him as a hog, but it's what it
Yeah.
is. This is it. I mean, this is college basketball now, or just college sports. It's what it is.
So I'm guessing he needs to hear the NIL deals before he goes to the draft.
Uh, I think he just is like, am I going to get drafted? And if not, then what am I going to do? I need to go somewhere where I'm going to play. I know I'm going to start and play, and it's not going to be at Arkansas. He's not going to start over DJ Wagner.
No.
And with Darius Acuff coming in, it's a crowded backcourt. I understand the move for all parties involved. All right, water break there for me. Other news going on this week. I don't know. There's something called the NFL draft happening Thursday. Did you realize that?
I did. I
Okay.
did.
It was. I haven't heard anything about it. Again, I haven't really had my TV on. I've just been studying anatomy for since January. It's pretty much been my life, that and work and running. So that's why I was able to come on the show and just spit out running stuff for a good however long I did. But yeah, NFL draft happening Thursday. I don't know if I'll get to see much of it. I'll have my run clinic starts at 7 o'clock, I think. So I'll technically be home by then, I believe. Well, we finish at 7. So I'll be home probably 30 minutes later. But I'll need to shower and get ready to leave town Friday when I get off work. Um, Pacing a half marathon Saturday in Fayetteville. But I'm going to turn around and have to come back that day because I'm pacing a half in North Little Rock on Sunday. So
Sweet.
yeah, so you won't see me while I'm up there. Um, Not that you really ever do. We're both doing something anytime I'm in that area. And by the time I get to sit down and relax, I just want to sit down and relax and not go anywhere. Um, but yeah, that'll be my weekend. So I haven't paid attention to much else going on in the sports world. So number one pick, it's got to be Cam Ward, right? Is that the kind of consensus everybody's thinking? It's going to
He's
be Cam Ward.
yeah, I mean he's the top quarterback. And
That's what
then
I'd take.
yeah. So I don't know. And then you got what? Shadur Sanders. It's different story on him about every day. I think two or 3 days ago I read that he had dropped out of the projected first round, and then yesterday I think I read where he's a definite lock for the top 10. So I don't know. But we'll see. Just interested to see where Travis Hunter goes. Of course, he should be a lock, but
Lock for what?
who was looking at him?
Well, everybody's looking at him. Who's not looking at Travis Hunter?
Well,
I'm sure Tennessee's
who in
looking.
like the top 3, 4 picks had like
Well, pulling up the mock
is
drafts
it New
here on
York?
ESPN, um, they have Cam Ward going number one to Tennessee, and they have Travis Hunter going number two to Cleveland,
Cleveland.
which I would hate that for Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not Cleveland, but then again, you got the Giants behind Cleveland, uh, which they've got Abdul Carter, outside linebacker for Penn State, which is probably a good pick. I mean, Penn State is kind of linebacker university in a lot of ways these days. There's always some stud linebacker coming out of Penn State. Uh, New England Patriots have the fourth pick. They've got them going tackle. Jacksonville at 5. Of course, this is a mock draft, so it's not going to exactly go down this way. Uh, they've got Ashton Jeanty going fifth overall to the Jags. Like the game is kind of transitioning back to where running backs are getting selected in the first round again. I still wouldn't do it. I'm sticking to what it was. I'm not
This
taking
year's
the
heavy
running.
with the running backs, man.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like it's a
not.
good class for it.
It is, but that's kind of my point. Not taking a running back high. I'm just not going to do it. There's too many needs, and you can still get a great running back, or at least a really good one, in the late rounds.
Yeah.
Um, Ashton Jeanty, a really good one, but fifth overall at a position that's become it's the game. It's the game that has made the position less valuable, not the play of the current running backs. It's just a more pass happy league. You move the six through the air than on the ground. I mean, you still need both. The best teams are still balanced. You have a great run pass balance. I mean, that's the best offense at the professional level. But the point is, you don't have just one guy anymore. It's a like a 2 and 3 committee now at running back. So you don't put all your chips in on one guy with the fifth overall pick. But it does sound like something the Jaguars would do. I mean, it's one of the more poorly run organizations in the league. It just
They'll
is.
never overtake. Yeah, they'll never overtake the Cleveland Browns
Man, there are some really bad ones. I mean, they're giving them a run for their money. I
or the
mean,
Jets.
I was gonna say let's look at the top 10 picks and just they're consistently in this area.
Every year. Yeah.
Now the Titans aren't, but Cleveland's in there. The Giants have been consistently bad the
Yeah.
last what, pushing a decade?
It's been a while since Eli was tossing it around there. So yeah.
I mean, New England's been bad since Brady left. Um, but they haven't been bad long enough to stay in this area. And at a certain point, Robert Kraft is going to say, "No, we're going to do whatever we got to do to change things." But like bottom tier NFL teams, this is what I'm looking at: Cleveland, Giants, Jaguars, Raiders behind them at pick 6, Jets behind them at pick 7. Carolina Panthers are 8, but I'm not putting them in that category. Saints are 9, Bears 10. So absolute bottom tier franchises. I don't put the Bears in the very bottom tier, but I got them a step up. I got them in that next tier of franchises that are just terrible. But the very bottom tier, I'm putting the Jets, I'm putting the Raiders, I'm putting the Jaguars, I'm putting the Browns, I'm putting the Giants. Just
That's pretty good squad
the
for the
worst
basement
run
dwellers.
franchises in the NFL. It's those teams. It's those teams consistently are just awful, and it's frustrating, especially like when you're the Giants and you had Tom Coughlin. Like you had Tom Coughlin who won you 2 Super Bowls and then moves to the front as a coach and moves to the front office and puts together a competitive team. And you don't have a great year. You're kind of middle of the pack, and then you fire him. Like, and that look at what you've done since. Look at what you've done since. Tom Coughlin, look at what he did at Jacksonville before going to the Giants. They were
Yeah.
playing in the conference championship games when he was the head coach in Jacksonville. Mark Brunell and company. I'm going way back for that. It's weird to say way back at this point, but I mean, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting old. Um, a girl we went to high school with, who's in my run club. She got out of the car. It's a couple of weeks ago, and she has what I'm thinking is like a younger brother with her, and he was, I don't know, they said something to where they it prompted me to say, "Who is?" I asked her, "Who is that?" She's like, "That's my son." I was like, "What?" So I was like, "Man, I'm getting old." Yeah, it's a 20-year-old kid. So yeah, we're getting old, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I remember the days when when Jacksonville was playing for conference championships. Um, but yeah, bottom tier teams, it's those teams. Let's go opposite way. Who would we put in just the very top tier
And
NFL
like
team?
historically or as of like the last
All right,
10.
not
Oh,
forget history. It doesn't matter at this point. We're just talking about the present. It's obviously Philly. It's obviously Kansas City. Who else are we putting in that class? The 49ers were up there. They're not anymore.
no. After this last season, I put the damn Redskins in that conversation. Um,
Well, Commanders, but
yeah, yeah, my bad. Um,
I would say the
man,
Redskins I wouldn't put in there. This current Commanders team,
they're
I absolutely.
close. Yeah,
Uh, but I've said that about Washington. They're on the rise, and they will continue to
yeah.
traject up.
And you got Buffalo and Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't want to put the Lions in there. Like they're not there to me. I said all year Philly was the best team in the NFC, even when the Lions were looked like they were clearly going to get the 1 seed. I was like, no, Philly's still the best team if they can stay healthy.
Yeah. Those are the top five I'd throw money on every season for the next 3 seasons to win it all.
Yeah. So Philly, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. Who was the other one?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Who'd you say?
Okay, Philly, obviously number one. Kansas City, obvious number two. Baltimore, Buffalo. Did we have another one, or did you just name
Yeah,
four?
there was five. You listed
Washington.
two. Yeah.
Washington. Yeah, I guess we'd have to put Washington. I would. It's still weird to put them in there with those.
I'd probably put, I don't know, I'd probably put Detroit. They've at least had multiple seasons of success, whereas Washington's had just the one, but
All right, so here's what I would do. I would put those four teams I named in that very top tier, and just under that, I've got Detroit and Washington. I don't have Washington in that top tier yet. That's a recency bias pick. I do think they will eventually be there. Maybe by the end of next season, we'll include them because I think we will. I think it's a franchise that is going to get there and stay there with this new ownership group, with Jaden Daniels, with Dan Quinn. I think they will get there and stay there, but we're not there yet. So that very top tier, I would just have those four: Philly, KC, Buffalo, Baltimore, just under that. Detroit, excuse me, Detroit and Washington. But we'll see what happens Thursday in the NFL draft, and we'll be back next week to talk about it and whatever else is going on in the sports world, NBA playoffs and more. But until then, we're out of time, so we'll see y'all next week. I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
This is y'all.
Peace.